Hello everyone, this is chapter 15 part 3 of the Monopoly chapter. In this part, we will be talking about profit maximization for monopolists and short run to long run transition. So if you have been sleepy or if you are tired of watching my videos, you better wakey, you better wake up because this is a very important part. I'm going to put lots of stars. Let's get started. Here's the part we'll learn about profit maximization for monopolists. Remember 3 steps for a perfectly competitive company? Monopolists will have 4 steps because we have to add the step where monopolist determines the market price. First step is very similar to the a perfectly competitive firm's profit maximization step number 1. Find QM. I put M, but that is basically the optimal level of output, Q star, okay? So optimal best or profit maximizing output for monopolists such that, ST for such that marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. This is exactly the same rule as perfect competition, step 1. We have a new step here. Start from that optimal level of output for monopolist and hit the demand curve to determine the price monopolist is going to charge. This is what we meant about being a price maker. Monopolist makes its own price. However, you can't just make up whatever price you want to. You have to read it off of your demand curve. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're the monopolist of a coffee shop, right? You're the monopolist as an owner of the only coffee shop within 200-mile radius. Well, guess what? You can set your price of coffee to $300. Why? Well, you know what? If you do that, nobody will buy any coffee from you. Okay? So you need to read the demand curve. Remember in the previous part when we set the price of coffee at $11, nobody bought any coffee. Therefore, that's a proof that you cannot actually set the price of your product whatever you want. You have to listen to the demand curve. Next step is very, I'm not going to say very similar, it's actually identical to the perfect competition rule. You're going to stay if your price is greater than or equal to your average variable cost. You got to exit otherwise in the short run. Then next step, if you're staying, then you're going to determine the profits as before. Profits, the same formula. Price minus average total cost times the quantity. Okay? If you have any problem with these steps, especially step 1, 3, and 4, you need to go back to chapter of the perfect competition. Okay? That's 12. Alright, so you know what? Let me just show you how we do this. Okay, I don't want you to panic. Okay, so many graphs. Now we have marginal. Look, everything else is the same. Family of cost curves. There you go. Average total cost, average variable cost, marginal cost, right? I have my demand curve. The only new thing is this marginal revenue curve. That's the only difference between perfect competition and monopoly. So rule number 1 says, find optimal level of output such that marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Here we go. Marginal cost equals marginal revenue at this point. So that's your QM. Step number 2. Start from QM and go up, bum. Jaws movie theme music. Okay. Go hit the demand curve. Read it off of the y-axis. So this is the price you can charge as a monopolist. Step number 3. Stay if price exceeds average variable cost. Price is actually greater than or equal to average variable cost. Start from QM. Go hit the average variable cost curve. Here's your average variable cost. Am I going to stay? Oh yeah. PM is greater than average variable cost. Okay, last step is to determine the profit. Well, I know where PM is. Let's say this is $5. QM, let that be 10 units of whatever you're producing. Okay, I am only missing, so this is $5. QM is 10 units. So I'm only missing average total cost. Start from 10, go hit the average total cost curve, read it off of the y-axis. Let's say ATC is actually, I'm just gonna make it up, $4. Okay, so it's gonna look like this: profits $5 minus $4 times 10. So you have $10 of profits. Good for you. Okay, so here we go. We didn't have to have numbers. As long as you see price here exceeds average total cost, you're making profits. You're good. Okay, so let's actually go over this example. Here is the average total cost, marginal cost, demand, marginal revenue. We didn't have average variable cost because in this example, as you'll see very soon, this firm is definitely saying in the short run. Look, rule number 1, equalize marginal cost with marginal revenue. Here we go. That's the optimal, that's the point that's going to give you the optimal level of quantity, QM. In this example, the optimal level of production is 4,000 units. Start from QM. Then step number 2, go hit the demand curve, read it off of the y-axis. Interesting. So it implies that if you want to sell as a monopolist 4,000 units, you can charge $4 per unit. Next step, what are my profits? Well, profit formula goes like this, right? Price minus average total cost times quantity. Well, I know quantity, 4,000. Okay, price is $4. What is my average total cost? Go start from 4,000 units, go hit the average total cost curve, read it off of the y-axis, $2. Interesting. Okay, so profits are going to be in this case. So I actually, like profits, you can describe it, right? Before I actually show you the formula. Profits, you can describe the area PM, A, so the rectangle characterized by PM, A, B, and ATC. So this little rectangle is your profits. So if you calculate 4 minus 2 times 4,000, $8,000. Cool, you know, positive economic profits. If you have positive profits, what happens in the long run? I want you to think about it. What do you think is gonna happen? Will new companies enter? What was one of the properties of a monopoly? Monopoly is a market structure in which there is only one company producing either unique or producing a unique product with no close substitutes. And very importantly, there's significant barriers to entry. As a matter of fact, actually, entry is blocked. So if you're making positive economic profits, yeah, other companies want to enter, but can they? No. So I couldn't insert crickets chirping noise here, but nothing's gonna happen. Okay, you know, when nothing happens, crickets chirping noises included. Okay, just forget it. Anyway, so far a monopolist was making positive economic profits in the short run. Entry is blocked. You keep enjoying positive profits in the long run. Monopolists could be making negative economic profits in the short run. So you have to, if nothing improves as a monopolist, if you're making negative economic profits in the short run, you gotta exit in the long run. So because you're the only producer of a product doesn't guarantee that you're gonna make positive economic profits. Let me give you an example. Let's say it's gonna be something a little bit repulsive, okay? Let's say I am the monopolist and I sell squirrel meat. Okay, I lived in Mississippi for a while and I tried it. It's pretty good, but you know, we are not big on squirrel meat. I mean, let's say a guy has monopoly in squirrel meat. He's the squirrel whisperer, calls them and just, you know, sells them for their meat. I warned you, it's a repulsive example. So it doesn't mean because you have a product and you are the you have the monopoly power over that product, that doesn't mean you're going to make positive economic profits. So you're making negative economic profits in the short run, you are going to exit in the long run. How about in the short run? You may exit in the short run or stay in the short run if price is greater than or equal to average variable cost. Okay, let me show you an example in which monopolist is actually making negative economic profits in the short run and will exit in the short run. Here is the family of its cost curves. Okay, the entire family. Look at this. Demand is super weak. So it's like you're selling something nobody wants, right? Let's say I am selling something ridiculous. I really can't come up with an idea. But I'm selling something, let's say I am making huge cell phones, just like those very old cell phones that look like a brick, right? So I have a monopoly in making those cell phones. They are not even smart cell phones. So basically, if that's the case, see how demand is extremely weak, and marginal revenue will always shadow the demand curve, like below, right? So rule number 1, equalize marginal cost with marginal revenue. Well, I did it. Find the optimal level of output. Yes, you found it. Go hit the demand curve. You hit the demand curve. Here's the price you can charge. Go find the average variable cost at this quantity, at this optimal level of production. Average variable cost. Ooh, average variable cost exceeds. Profits are negative, obviously. Okay, what happened? Okay, we got it back. Profits are negative. Okay, profits are negative here at the bottom. I can't for some reason reach there. Profits are negative. Price is strictly less than average variable cost. You're gonna exit in the short run in this case. Okay, this is a case in which you should exit. Exiting means actually you gotta set this optimal level of output to 0. Okay, let's take a look at the second example in which you are staying in the short run. So this one, stay in the short run even if it negative economic profits. So let me just erase this. So let's do the step number 1. Marginal cost equals marginal revenue. You're right here. Okay, find optimal level of output. You should be producing this as a monopolist. Okay, step number 2, what is the price? Start from quantity, go hit the demand curve. Demand curve shows you people's valuation of a product at each consumption level. So if you want to sell these many, just go hit the demand curve and find out how much people are willing to pay for that level of output. Here's the price you should be charging. Second question, second step. Does my price cover average variable cost? Oh yes, start from optimal level of output, go hit the average variable cost. Here's the average variable cost, here's price. I'm staying in the short run. And let's find the profits. Well, in this case I'm making negative profits, or here's your loss. Okay, so if nothing improves here, if demand doesn't get stronger, aka if demand doesn't shift out, as a monopolist you have to exit in the long run. Exit in long run. We just said it right here. Okay, this concludes our part 3.